Evan Greaser is a committee member with Cape Citizens for Reliable Water. The upgrade has been needed for a very long time, but as I heard several times in a conversation off air, there was can kicking down the road. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Fawn. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. So we all know that the water system needs to be replaced. We all know this.
Well, it needs critical upgrades. That's where we're at. There's over 300 miles of distribution line in the city of Cape, many of which were laid in the 1890s. But interestingly enough, many of the lines that were laid during World War I and World War II are the lines that are failing, which is what results in these pretty regular boil water advisories because they break. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to understand. A lot of the product, the materials were, I don't want to say inferior, but pipes were made differently because of the war effort. So
they were cities identified. Yeah, things have improved since then.
So the cities identified all those lines, and they know what has to be replaced. There is a process, and they've identified which ones need to be replaced first. So that's a big component of the critical upgrades that have to happen. And then out at the water treatment facility, because the demand for water in the city of Cape has exceeded expectation, even from an engineering report done several years ago, the city is planned for additional clarifying tanks and a process to increase the quantity of water that gets out to the public, because again, we're outstripping what we can produce. So all of this together results in the necessary expenditure over the next 10 years for approximately $105 million.
Which is a lot, and that makes people bat their eyes and freak out because their bills are going to go higher. And you and I spoke off air. A lot of people don't understand the breakdown of their city bill when they get it, that it's sewer, it's garbage, it's water, it's all of that combined.
Right.
All we know is that bill went up by about a third in just recent history. So people are mad already that they're asking for more money and nothing. What did they do with the money you just took?
So there's a lot of explanations. Number one, let me just say, the city has had in its charter a limitation on how much of an increase annually can the fees can be raised for water, sewer, and trash. Those are called enterprise funds, and they're designed for the funds to go into and the expenses to be paid out of for the maintenance and the ongoing operations. For whatever reason, Fawn, in the past 10, 12, 15 years, the city had elected not to increase fees in several of those years, which has had an impact on the ability to perform these critical upgrades.
Plus, people had mandatory raises by the federal government when it came to how much you had to pay people.
I agree 100%. Mm-hmm. So where we're at today is this $105 million is a necessary evil, but I'm calling this a quality of life issue. What am I going to do if I can't take a shower, get clean water, drinking water? What if the pipes burst in a really critical area and water can't even be pumped? Never mind a boil water advisory, but there's no water to your residence. So the average homeowner in Cape uses less than 5,000 gallons a month. And most homeowners in that category would see a monthly increase in the water fee component of their utility bill, the city water, sewer, and trash, of less than $4.30 a month. Now, again, the ballot language, it will be on the ballot for August the 5th, is to allow the city charter to be changed from a 5% maximum change to a 15% maximum change so that these critical upgrades can be done. And that 15% that I just described in the $4.30 increase, that is 15%. Incidentally, Cape is one of the few cities in the state that actually has a limitation on an increase in the water fees. There was just a St. Louis city suburb recently that increased their water fees 26%. And I just read an article that St. Louis City increased in 2023 20%, and in 2021 20%. So I feel good that they're putting some caps in this. And I also feel very strongly that it's necessary for our quality of life. If you think of the hospitals and the inability to get water, it's a life and death issue for many people, our senior citizen homes. So
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, and due to time, we have to get to the bottom of this. So I only have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
We can preach this all we want, but y'all just raised our prices almost $30 on sewer and water and everything together. People are on a fixed income. We're not St. Louis. They make more money than we do. We're not, a metropolis area where people make a lot of money. The people are hearing this as an increase, and I agree it needs to happen.
Right.
But the fact that it wasn't taken care of up until this point makes me kind of mad. Because
I agree.
it's a problem that should have been taken care of in increments so that it doesn't all come just kaboom at once. But $4 is not going to kill, break, or take anybody's quality of life away. I agree that $4 is not a lot. But I really wish y'all hadn't just raised prices before you asked for this, because that is why people are mad. It's the timing.
I don't disagree from your perspective. But I wasn't involved in the past. I've offered to volunteer my time to help the city get this approved, because I realize without quality assurance of quality water, where is this community going to be? If we need to address greater accountability from our city executives, our city management, our city council, let's do it. But I feel strongly everybody's going to have an opinion. I get it. But let's get this water system fixed over the next 10 years so we can enjoy the quality of life that we need, and then we'll deal with our city council. We'll hold our elected representatives accountable to making sure that our infrastructure, I'm a big guy with infrastructure, police, fire, roads, and this is part of it. So I'm passionate about it. I appreciate people's concerns about their budget. I get it. We've had inflation out of control the last several years.
We're running out of time, Kevin. I get it. I get it. But I've got 17 messages from listeners right now, 17 who say the people do not trust this city administration to do what they say they're going to do. There's no trust. So getting this passed is going to be a pickle for you. And I'm reading you what these messages say. These are not my words, but what I'm saying is the timing stinks. I hope that people do vote for this, just so the listeners will understand. We need water, and $4 is not going to break your bank, but it better not go up another $4 next year. Is what I'm saying. It cannot continue to go up every single year, or people will that'll be it.
The city's doing a really good job of budgeting. We have a finance director that is a CPA. We've done some great planning. I have confidence that this proposal will improve and repair our water system, and then we just hold our representatives accountable.
Okay.
But I appreciate it a bunch. On August the 5th, it'll be on the ballot initiative.
And I'm going to ask the listeners to please vote yes for this, whether you trust or not. Let's throw our chips in and see what happens.
Perfect.
Let's give them a chance to do the right thing, and if they don't, we'll vote them out.
We'll vote them out. Perfect.
All right. Kevin Greaser, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.